When I was in college, I would always tell my friends, I can't believe we're sitting here listening to this guy talk about X, Y, Z, and then they would ask me, why don't you just leave if it's so bad? And I'd say, but I'm getting value from it. There's parts of it that are really good and valuable. It's just there's some parts that are kind of boring or not as interesting. And they'd say, well, why don't you just get rid of those parts and just listen to the really good parts? And I'd say, I wish I could do that, but it's like a package deal. If I take the good, I got to take the bad with it. And what I realized over time is that was true for a lot of things in life. If I took a job that paid really well, it might come with some downsides, right? Like it might be a job I didn't like doing, or it might be a job that required me to travel all the time. If I got into a relationship with an attractive person, it might come with some downsides, right? Maybe they were a bit of a jerk, or maybe they had some unresolved trauma or some baggage. Nothing in life is really perfect, right? You can't pick and choose the good parts and avoid the bad parts. And so, when I started going to therapy, one of the first things that I told my therapist is that, hey, I have these two conflicting desires. On the one hand, I want to put my phone out, turn off my phone, not look at it, focus 100% on you while I am in session because I know that it's going to help me get more out of it. But on the other hand, I'm also worried that if I put my phone away, I'm gonna miss something important. I am gonna miss a text from someone, or I am gonna miss an email or a call or something, and it's gonna be really detrimental. So I asked my therapist, how do I decide between these two? Because on the one hand, I want to do this thing that's probably better for me, but on the other hand, I'm worried that if I do that thing, I'm gonna miss out on something important. How do I decide between these two? And he said, why don't you try putting your phone away and see how it goes for a couple sessions? And if you actually do miss something important, then we can talk about it then. And I was like, yeah, okay, fair enough. So I put my phone away and lo and behold, halfway through the session, I started feeling really itchy. And I was like, oh, my God. I bet it's a text from my mom or my girlfriend or someone. Oh, my God, what did I do? So I asked my therapist if I could check my phone really quick, and he was like, sure. So I pulled out my phone and I checked it real quick, and sure enough, I got a text from my dad saying, hey, just wanted to let you know I've been in an accident. I'm going to the hospital, blah, 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 and I was like, oh, my God. Thank God I checked my phone. I gotta call him back. So I called my dad and everything ended up being fine. He just banged up his knee or something. But I was like, okay. See, this is exactly why I need to keep my phone on. This is exactly why I should entrust that I am gonna be okay without my phone. And my therapist was like, well, yeah, that's a pretty extreme example. That's pretty lucky that you checked your phone right at that moment and saw that. And I said, yeah, totally. And I went back to the session and we continued talking. Now, a few weeks later, I went back to that same therapist and I said, you know, I think I figured out a better way to do this whole phone thing. And he said, oh, yeah, what is that? And I said, instead of putting my phone away across the room, I now just face down on the table in front of me. And he said, oh, yeah, why is that better? And I said, well, first of all, it allows me to glance at it quickly, like I did the last time, right? So, if I do start getting itchy and I want to check it, I can just quickly glance at it and see if anything's there. But secondly, by having it face down, I'm less likely to get distracted by it. I am less likely to start reading emails or checking social media or texting people, because I feel like if it's face down, it's almost like I'm showing respect to you as the therapist. Like I'm showing that I'm actually paying attention. I'm actually focused on you. If it was face up, I feel like it's almost inviting you to come over here and look at it. Whereas if it's face down, it's almost like I'm shutting myself off from it. I'm not looking at it. I'm focusing on you. And he said, that sounds like a great compromise. And I said, yeah, I think so too. I think I'm getting more out of my sessions now than I was before. I think I was getting a little bit distracted before, but now that I have this phone thing figured out, I'm getting way more out of it. Now, I still sometimes struggle with this, right? Sometimes I have this itch to check my phone during a lecture or during a meeting or during a conversation with someone. But 90% of the time I am able to resist that urge because I've gotten so used to not giving in to that urge. And it has made such a huge difference in my life because I am no longer distracted by my phone. I'm no longer worrying about missing out on something important. And I am able to focus 100% on the thing that I am supposed to be focusing on. And it's funny because when I first started doing this, it was very difficult, right? It was very hard to resist the urge to check my phone every 5 minutes, but once I got past that initial hump, once I got past that initial 2 or 3 weeks of struggling, it became easy. It's become second nature to me. It's become a habit. And the crazy thing is that I never thought that I could do this, right? I never thought that I could go for an hour without checking my phone. But now I can go for days without checking my phone. Now I don't even carry my phone with me everywhere I go. I don't feel anxious about not having my phone. And that's just because I've changed this one simple habit. If you're someone who struggles with checking your phone too much, I highly recommend trying this out. Try facing your phone down on the table next time you're in a situation where you want to focus, but you're worried about missing out on something important. Try facing your phone down, resisting the urge to check it, and see how much more you're able to focus on the thing that you're supposed to be focusing on. Because chances are you're gonna find that you can focus a lot better when you're not constantly distracted by your phone. You're gonna find that you're gonna remember things better. You're gonna find that you're gonna enjoy the present moment a lot more. And if you can master this one simple habit, it's gonna make such a huge difference in your life. Because the truth is, we live in a world now where we are so distracted. We are so distracted by our phones, by social media, by the news, by all of these different things. We are so distracted, and when we are so distracted, we are unable to focus on the things that actually matter. We are unable to focus on our goals, on our dreams, on the things that actually bring us joy. But if we can master this one simple habit of just not checking our phone, we can free ourselves from the distraction and we can focus on the things that actually matter. So I hope you enjoyed this story. I hope you found it helpful. And I hope it's inspired you to start focusing on the things that actually matter. Because the truth is, life is too short to be distracted. Life is too short to be worried about missing out on something important, and we have the power to change that. We have the power to focus on what actually matters. So I hope you enjoyed this story.